Windows 11's latest update breaks the very tool you need to fix Windows. With AI search rising, can Google keep dominating how the internet is found? What's making ChatGPT's new memory really work? Hint, learning to forget. And a massive AWS outage knocks out major sites and apps and reminds us how fragile the cloud can be. Welcome to Hashtag Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. It's been an awful week for Microsoft and its latest Windows 11 release. First, one update broke localhost. That's the network setup web developers use to run and test local websites. Then another caused problems with VPNs and network adapters in some business systems. And now, the same update has also broken the one thing you need when things go wrong: the Windows Recovery Environment, or WinRE. If you've never used it or had to, consider yourself lucky. WinRE is what appears when your computer won't boot properly. It's your safety net, the place where you can roll back a bad update, restore a backup, or run repair tools. But after Microsoft's latest patches, KB 5043179 and KB 5043232, USB keyboards and mice stop working entirely inside WinRE. That means if your system fails to start, you could be staring at recovery options you literally can't click. Microsoft has confirmed the issue and says it's working on a fix, but there's no timeline yet. I've been doing this IT thing for a lot of years, and I know that things can go wrong. But can you remember a Windows release in the past few months that didn't have a major bug? In fairness, other operating systems have had their share of issues too, but I just don't recall seeing the same pattern. And speaking as a Mac user, I haven't felt anything close to this level of chaos. My impression is that Windows may have hit a wall, where they need to rethink how they deliver and maintain it. Maybe it's just gotten too big and too complex. Maybe it's trying to handle too many devices. I don't know. Or maybe I'm being unfair. Let me know what you think. For years, we've accepted one thing as a given. If you want to find something on the internet, you Google it. Google has been the gatekeeper of what gets seen, the de facto front door to the web. But as AI-driven search tools start to dominate the old keyword model, the question is now whether Google can hold on to that dominance. According to a recent piece in Search Engine Journal, Google executives seem pretty confident they can. Liz Reed, the company's vice president of search, says its new AI overviews, those quick synthesized answers that appear at the top of search results, are proving to be a major success. She says users are engaging more deeply and finding information faster. And from Google's point of view, that's the goal. These AI overviews let users get what they want without ever leaving Google. The system learns what we click, what we skip, and what keeps us scrolling, building an enormous feedback loop that makes Google's results even sharper. But that success comes with a cost, at least for the rest of us on the web. Research cited by Search Engine Journal shows that when these AI overviews appear, click-through rates drop sharply from about 15% to about 8%. And fewer clicks means fewer visitors for publishers and businesses who depend on Google for traffic. Google's held its lead for many years because it's the biggest player in search, but also it owns the Android operating system. It pays Apple billions to be the default search engine on Safari and iPhones, but it's been able to do that because it makes enormous amounts of money. But now it faces two major challenges. The first is, can they keep that dominance as rivals like OpenAI and Perplexity build their own AI-powered search tools? And the second, maybe a harder one, is figuring out how to monetize this new model. Keeping people inside the Google environment sounds great, but Google's business runs on ads and clicks. If AI answers everything right on the page, users may stop clicking, and that could threaten the very business model that built Google's empire. For now, Google's size, experience, and deep understanding of search make it hard to beat. But as AI changes how we find and fund information, even Google may have to reinvent the very thing that made it powerful in the first place. There's a new twist in how ChatGPT works, and it's not about remembering more, it's about knowing what to forget. According to Tech Radar, OpenAI is rolling out a major update to ChatGPT's memory system, one that lets it automatically decide what information to keep, what to summarize, and what to quietly discard. Until now, ChatGPT would store every detail you shared, from your writing style to your side projects to your love of sci-fi trivia. Useful, sure, but also messy. This new version treats memory more like our human brain. It keeps the patterns that matter and lets irrelevant stuff fade over time. And that makes it smarter in practice, because the AI focuses on what's current and contextually relevant instead of drowning in old data. It can adapt to you without clinging to every random thing you've ever told it. And here's where it gets interesting. There's a whole cottage industry out there insisting that AI will never act like a human. It can't understand, empathize, or behave in human ways. Its brain does not behave like a human brain. I've had more than a few arguments on that one, because every time someone says that, the next big breakthrough, like this one, makes AI more human in its behavior. And that's exactly what helps it work better. For OpenAI, teaching ChatGPT to forget isn't just a technical trick. It's a step towards building systems that think a little more like we do. And maybe that's how they'll finally make these tools not just smarter, but more natural to work with. A massive outage at Amazon Web Services early Monday morning knocked a big chunk of the internet offline, and it cost a small fortune. Analysts estimate that Amazon itself can lose as much as $65 million US for every hour it's down. And for other companies that rely on AWS, that number might be in the hundreds of thousands, even millions for each hour of downtime. And for smaller businesses, the dollar amounts may not be that great, but the dependency on AWS may mean that even greater damage is done than to large companies. The outage started at about 2:40 a.m. Eastern in Amazon's US East 1 data center. That's the key hub in Northern Virginia that so much of the web depends on. By about 10 a.m., Amazon said most systems were back online, although according to a lot of publications, including our own experience, some sites were still struggling through the day. The outage hit hard, along with Alexa and Ring. There was Snapchat, Signal, Fortnite, Duolingo, Venmo, Robinhood, Reddit, and on, including us, who were all reporting problems. Amazon later said the culprit was something you might recognize if you've kept your ears open over the past few years: a domain name system failure. It disrupted its DynamoDB database service, a foundational piece of its infrastructure. A relatively simple thing, but if it fails, it all comes tumbling down. The good news is there's no sign of a cyber attack. This looks like a technical or configuration failure inside AWS's own systems. Now here's part of the bigger story. For years, cloud computing has been sold as the answer to reliability. The idea that massive providers like AWS, with all their scale and expertise, could deliver near-perfect uptime and bulletproof security. And most of the time, they do. But the flip side is that when one of these giants goes down, they take a lot of the internet with them. And as we saw yesterday, no matter how they'll talk about we have different regions and we can just flip from one to the other, recovery takes hours and hours. And in today's world, hours of downtime can cost tens of millions. The cloud gave us resilience, speed, and reach. But this outage is a reminder that even the biggest providers aren't invincible. And when the cloud stumbles, it's not just a shower, it's a storm. And that's our show, recorded late at night, and hopefully this last time we'll be able to get this through to you. On the positive side, thanks to those of you who responded with your comments last week. It's great to hear what you're thinking. If you like what we're doing, and a lot of you seem to like the directions we're taking, please share the show. Give us a like or a comment on your favorite podcast app. You'll find us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, everywhere. And if you have something to say, a tip on a story, or just an idea of the direction we should be going in, you can reach me at technewsday.ca or technewsday.com. Just use the Contact Us page and drop me a note. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can just leave a comment under the video. Or better yet, maybe a thumbs up or subscribe. That stuff really helps us reach a larger audience. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a terrific Tuesday.